Hi, welcome back. My name is Savannah and I hope you enjoy all the knitting and crafting content I have to show today. So this is going to be my March 2025 recap. Kind of doohickey. We're going to talk about finishes, whips, any new starts that I'm planning for the next month, goals and budget, and then anything else I might have after that. So we're going to go ahead and start. Just a really quick disclaimer. I'm not feeling it at the moment. I'm sure when I start like talking more and more, I'll get more energetic. But for right now, just like, I don't really want to make the video, but I also don't have any other like day to make this video. And I don't want to fail. It's not really failing. I just don't want to not do a month. One of my little goals is to do at least one video a month for the whole year, just to track everything that I'm doing. Yes, I've made many videos in the past, but I want to kind of keep consistent with these videos. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into those finishes that I talked about. I'll hold up the piece, but I'll also insert a photo of me wearing the item. I don't want to change right now. Oh, I guess I should tell you what I'm wearing. This is what is this? I know what it is. Storm Sweater by Petite Knit. I knit this last February, actually. This is in Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool in the oatmeal colorway, and this is my most worn piece I've ever made. Like it lays on the end of my bed, and I put it on first thing every morning, or sometimes I'll sleep in it. I wear this thing pretty much daily. I love it. The yarn is fantastic. It holds up so well. So yeah, anyways, that's just what I'm wearing. It's a great piece. I highly recommend the yarn. The pattern is great too. Anyways, let's go ahead and carry on finishes. I finished the Tulip Loop Vest by Other Loops. I don't know what to say about it. I made size 2 and I think everything turned out well. Oh, okay, so I did modify a little bit of it. So my row gauge was off. Like, I think I mentioned in my last video, maybe. I know I've talked about it, but I don't know if it was in a video or if it was like a reel on Instagram or something like that. I picked size 2. I was having issues with the sizing. There's only 3 sizes to this pattern, but there's a huge gap between each size. So I could have gotten away with knitting size 1, but I wanted to make sure that it was going to be oversized enough. So I went with size 2, hoping that my gauge issues would compensate. And I think so. I think it's not terribly too big or too small. I think it's probably just right. But I didn't realize my row gauge. I never count row gauge anyways, but my row gauge was quite off to the point where I didn't even finish knitting the required amount of rows for my size. I stopped after I realized that I was past the recommended length. So that's what's nice, is she puts the length and the number of rows. She does both of those. So for this, I was kind of following the number of rows because of the cables. But at one point I had measured and realized that, so I should have technically, even though I'm not even to the length that I should be, I should have stopped right here after this cable for the length. So what I ended up doing was shortening the ribbing by quite a bit. And I am kind of sad about that. I think I would have preferred the ribbing a little bit longer like it is in the pattern, but I also ran into a second issue where I ran out of yarn. Not technically. I got most of this done. The yarn is Nomad Marshmallow DK held double with well, held together with Nomad's Nuvola, which is like a mohair mulberry silk blend. So both undyed yarns. I can't remember how much of the DK I used, but one skein of the mohair got me to probably here, you know, for front and back, you know, pretty decent amount. And so I didn't want to cake up another skein. I wanted to not do that. And so what I did was I had a ball of Drops Kid Silk in a color that was very, very similar, if not exactly the same. Like I can't tell where I switched. So the color was pretty spot on. And I thought I had enough of that to finish, you know, finish what I needed to. So it was probably around here that I switched, maybe a little bit less. It was probably up in here. Finish that, do ribbing and the neck. Luckily, there's no ribbing on the arm holes, so those are finished as soon as you connect in the round. So I just had that and the bottom bit, and I got through it, but ended up on the back, ran out. I had, let's see here, you might be able to tell, probably not, but like about a half an inch of ribbing left to do, and I ran out of that Drops Kid Silk, and again did not want to cake up another skein of mohair, so I just grabbed a scrap piece of Surrey alpaca and just used that. So the bottom of the ribbing is a little bit whiter, but definitely a bit more fluffy, but I don't think you can tell. Like if you're not looking for it, you can't tell. So it was a bit of yarn chicken. I made sure to do the neckband before I finished the body just because of that little bit of yarn chicken I was playing. But yeah, let me go ahead and throw in a photo, if I haven't already, of me wearing it. How many days did this take me? Let's see here. The Tulip Loop Fest, 16 days total to knit. So that's not terrible. It was an enjoyable knit, definitely. Just the stress of the yarn management, but that's all on me. All right, my next finish is actually a sewing finish. So this one is that Felicity Fleece pullover. This is by Lucia Bisalti, design on Etsy. I know I'm blocking the light, but I made this using the fabric that I got from Joann's. I even put my little tag in there. I absolutely thoroughly I really enjoyed making this. This was a lot of fun to make and put together. I really, really loved it. It's a beautiful piece. I've worn it a few times already. There's inseam pockets in the front. 2 pockets, so it's not connected all the way through. So I did as you can see, the pullover version. There's also the fully open version as well, which I think I'll do my white fabric as. But yeah, I found snaps that matched like perfectly, but while I was waiting for those to come in the mail, I was testing out other snaps that I had, and honestly, almost any color would have looked really, really cute on this as like accent snaps. I forgot what size I made. Of this, but maybe I made the 3rd size. That's what it was. I think there's 5 sizes, and I made the 3rd size, and I really love it. The only thing I think I'm going to change is, so you put elastic in the sleeve. I might have done my elastic a little too tight because it bothers me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop open the seam and just take the elastic out and leave it, you know, as is, because I'm not a big fan of it on my wrist. It gets caught on my watch and bracelets. It's just not comfortable. So I think I'll do that. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, I really, really love this thing. This thing turned out amazing, and I can't wait to make another one. Okay, so those are the only two finishes so far. I have hair in my mouth now. I don't know if I got it. Nope. Okay, there we go. Gross. Ew. Okay, so they're the only two finishes. I am working on something right now that I'm hoping to get finished by the end of tomorrow. Grab it over here. But it's current whip and new start for the month. I mean, everything that's a whip is a new start for the month, but I'm hoping to have this finished because today, oh, I should have told you what the date was. Today is Saturday, March 29th. So there's still 2 more days. There's still 2 more days to the month. I keep forgetting that Monday is actually still technically March. So I have 2 more days after today to finish this. So I'm hoping to have 1 more finish before the end of the month. And it'd be this one. This is the Look at My Holes by James N. Watts. Gosh, the lighting is always so terrible, isn't it? I don't know if that makes any difference. I'd love to face the window, but the background behind me does not look great. So yeah, I'm making this for my daughter. I should start with that. I'm making this for my daughter, so I'm making the extra small size. I don't like making this. Okay, it's the next day, and I just wanted to pop in this specific spot and tell you that as soon as I was done filming the video, I went ahead and picked up the Look at My Holes for my daughter and maybe knit a couple more rounds, had her try it on, and just didn't love it. I realized that her arms are a lot longer than I thought they were, and I'd have a lot more to go. And I just hated knitting it. I just was done. I didn't want to. I know I got the whole body done and all that stuff, but I was just at my breaking point, I think. I just did not want to do it. So I discussed it with my daughter, and I told her I would just, order her something similar on Amazon just because I was over it. I just didn't want to, and I don't like to spend my time knitting on things I don't like. It also was a little bit small on her, and the majority of that body had actually already been blocked, so it wasn't going to grow much anymore after that. So she would have grown out of it probably pretty quickly. So I just wanted to let you guys know that Look at My Holes has been scrapped. I mean, I still have it on the needles and all that, but I am not working on it. So scrap that project. And I have 2 other new starts that was a lot of work just because I couldn't make a decision. So a little bit of life update before I get into these 2 things. We're currently on spring break from school, and so my husband decided he'd like to go back home to Iowa to visit his family. So I was just like, okay, well, I need something easy to knit on, but I couldn't make up my mind what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be something off of my little goals list for the year, but I also wanted it to be something simple. And a lot of the things on my list are not technically simple. They all have texture or color work. So I was like, what do I do? So you know what I went and did? I did a whole bunch of swatching before we left. I finally came up with a decision, and I cast on 2 items to take with. Sure, I could have taken the Look at My Holes, but I didn't want to. I mean, I took it. I didn't work on it. But I went ahead and cast on 2 things. So I'm going to talk about this one first because I have the swatch here, and I'll talk about what I did because this involves both projects. So I had this yarn slotted for this project. So the yarn is Lion Brand's Fisherman's Wool in the, I don't even know what color this is. birch tweed. It is called birch tweed. Super love it. And I thought about making the artisan cardigan with this yarn. Ooh. So as you can see, I swatched for it. Here's the artisan cardigan. Let me see if there's a decent picture. Oh man. Okay, sorry. It is in the Sanaskarn DIY booklet 2308. So this was on my list to make, and I did a little Instagram poll, and this cardigan was kind of the one that was picked by everybody. So again, I had this idea that this yarn would go for that cardigan, so I swatched. And as you can see, you can barely see the texture with all that tweed. And I did not want to lose all that texture. So at the top right here, this is all moss stitch, and then there's chevrons with pearl stitches, made up of pearl stitches, but it's so hard to even like show you. Like you can kind of see it in person, but definitely not on screen. So I was like, okay, I know this isn't gonna work. This needs to be pretty much a stockinette sweater. So I hemmed and hawed and hemmed and hawed, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I was just like, do I just pick something else then, or whatnot? I kind of want to make that cardigan now because not because everybody picked it, but because like it was already there in my head, like, oh, we should do it, you know, it'll be fun, you know. I even got buttons for it already. But anyways, so that didn't work. So I was messing around, and decided this one isn't on my list, but I thought the yarn would look great in the Uma sweater by Aegyo Knits, which looks like this. I really wanted to do it in a dark color like the designer choice, but I don't have anything in stash that I want to give up, you know, for that. Obviously I have a lot of dark down here, but I didn't want to use any of those. Those are already slotted for other things. So I chose to use this tweed yarn, and you know what, I think I actually really like it. So I started this right before we left. I actually got the ribbing finished for the collar wall right before we left, and then I did most of this knitting in the car on the way because it's about a 10-12 hour drive from us. This is a very awkward construction because there is the two flaps in the front. So we have, sorry, the needles. You have, this is the inner front and this is the outer front. So it was definitely a little different having to pick up. So you have two pieces of fabric coming from the bottom point here, and then you have the back. Oops. So that's what I'm currently working on right now, is the back piece. So you did some shoulder increases with the, let's see here. Yeah, so, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what I wanted to talk about. So technically you're working in a spiral. So for doing the increases on the shoulders, you're like, your starting point's here, you're going around, coming around, then you're going to keep going this way on the back piece, and then you turn around. So it's knitting flat, but in a spiral. So that happened for a while, and then I had to split to knit the inner flap to the length, you know, under the arms. And then now I'm doing the back piece to match, and then I think I do the inner or the outer flap to do the same thing before I join it all in the round. Well, it won't technically be in the round. It'll still be knitted flat because it opens. It's definitely an interesting construction, and I don't hate it, but I think this is going to work well with this color. So yeah, this is what I worked on. And because I really still wanted to work on the artisan shawl cardigan. Why do I want to keep calling it a shawl? It's not a shawl. I did a swatch with some, I had some more undyed yarn in a worsted weight. And so I swatched with that, and gauge isn't perfect, but it's good enough. So this is wool to dye for, I think this is a superwash worsted weight. I can't remember exactly, but it is an undyed yarn that I have in stash. So I went ahead and cast that on as well, and took that with. And I got quite a bit done, actually. I'm still on the first skein, almost finished with it, but this is the back piece. I've done the armhole increases, and actually the construction of this piece is you knit the back first, and then you're going to pick up the shoulders and knit, you know, the front panel, and then this one, and then you're going to sew it up the sides and then add the sleeves. So kind of a flat construction, I guess it is, but you're not really, the only seaming you're going to do is on the side, and that's fine with me. I know the lighting. So it's all moss stitch on the back. So that's all I'm doing. Pretty simple, actually, for a car ride. So yeah, those are the two things that I've been working on this month. After I finished the tulip loop vest, actually. I didn't start either of these until after I finished that, and then I started the, shoot, sorry about that, it just cut me out. But yeah, that's all I've been working on. Well, neither of those are close to being finished, so any new starts for April, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to try to get these, definitely the look at my holes finished, because I'm just over that. And then get to town on those two projects. So anything after that, I don't know if anything will get started in April. I do have some ideas though, so I can talk about that. So we can move into that section because there's no more knitting whips. Oh, I do have a sewing whip, I guess I should talk about. I don't really want to get it off the mannequin because that thing has been a struggle. It's the Inez dress. I don't think I have any photos either. I just did a reel on Instagram about it. Struggle bus, I cut out the size pattern I thought would work for me, ended up being too small. That was before the trip. So during the trip, I kind of kept like thinking about how I could remedy it. I got the idea to let out some of the seams in the back, and that actually worked. But now I'm having an issue with the front part. It actually bows out like this along the chest. And I don't know how to fix that or why that is like that. I did buy more fabric to make a second one in the next size up. So I don't know if that'll fix the bulge that's in the front. But it's pretty big. Like you can see down the dress if you're taller than me. So anyway, so that's a kind of a whip, but for right now it's in timeout because I'm just going to wait, maybe make the next size up and see. But again, it's the Inez dress by Just Patterns. It's a beautiful dress. It's 90s inspired. Definitely would love to have that in my wardrobe. I'm just a little bit sad because that fabric's really beautiful. It's something it's fabric, one of those fabric bits I got from Joann's. Fabric is beautiful. And I'm not entirely sure what to do. I might at some point, like if I can't like figure it out or nobody has any recommendations for how to fix that top bit, I might just cut it into a skirt. Anyways, so that's the only other whip. All right, for April, ideas that might or might not get started. These are the only two swatches? Yes. I have more ideas than just these two, but I have swatches for these two. So in that big swatch craze of what to possibly start, I swatched this tiny little guy. So this is Holscar and Super Soft in the Willow colorway, and the Drops Brushed Alpaca in the, I think this is the pistachio. It's number 33. I think this is the pistachio color. Hold these two double. Let me put this down here. So that was already an idea for a project. This is what it looked like. It's so soft and lovely. I think I hit gauge. I think so. But it'll be for this is the Kuta Vakika Veronica Lindbergh's Knits to Wear book. And it will be, I need to learn to move my mouse more. Where is it? Right here. It's called the Take Me Out sweater. Ugh. So it looks like that. It's pretty much a stockinette sweater with these little yarn overs, and then the ribbing is actually a cable. I don't know, I thought it was really pretty. So I'm going to do that with that yarn. I just don't know if I'm going to actually start it in April or if it'll be later in the year, because the brushed alpaca is quite warm. So I might just need to wait till later into the year. But it was an idea. Yeah, the Take Me Out sweater. So that's a possibility. And then also in that gauge swatch, you might not be able to see this one very well. It's dark. I swatched, yeah. This does have texture in it. Knits and Pearls. The Guernsey Genzer in the fingering weight version. So I showed you this book last video. This is an Ascarn Tin Peer Gint booklet, it's 2212. So it just has these 3 patterns in it. I believe the Kelly, the Zoe, and the Guernsey Genzer. So I really want to knit the Guernsey Genzer. And in this booklet, there are several versions. You have fingering plus mohair. You have kids versions. You have fingering plus a Surrey alpaca. And then there's just the straight up fingering weight by itself. So you have a man's version and a woman's version. And it's just a straight up fingering weight, nothing held double. I really like that idea. Honestly, a lightweight sweater. I have a couple other ideas too that I'll talk to you about, but I was looking at my Holskarn collection up there, and I must have forgotten that I actually had this cone of blue. I don't remember buying this, but I had to have. I have it in my stash. But this beautiful blue, it's called Mariner. And I thought this could be a really lovely Guernsey Genzer. Again, on the camera, it's really hard to see the texture, but it's there in person. So I'm debating on doing this in this color. I'll tell you about another idea in just a minute. Actually, I could probably just work right into that now. So there's, thought about starting this because this would make a great summer sweater, being so lightweight. I broke my no-buy, unfortunately. I bought some more Holskarn. I bought 3 more cones. They're not here yet, so I can't show you, but I bought oh, you know what I have though? I have the card. So they were having a sale on some of the yarn, and on Instagram they said one of the colors on sale was, they had like a list of all the colors that were on sale, and one of the colors is something that I wanted to get for a while for a different project, but when I went to their website, that one was not on sale. I don't know why they listed it as on sale, but it was not. So I looked at all the other ones on sale and bought those instead, and ended up buying the other one too because I broke my no-buy, and it's gonna be okay. You know what I'll do is I'll just get back on track. I'll get back on track. I blame what I'll show you later in a minute what broke the no-buy. But I ended up buying lighting is the worst. I bought this color right here. This is Cobalt. It's a very beautiful, bright, but I'm pretty sure it was this one I bought. Cobalt and Sapphire. This one as well. Oh, I wish so. Where's it? This one. So I bought those two blues because I really want blue in my life. So I bought those two. So any of those could make really great Guernsey Gensers too, or other sweaters. But so I might want to wait until those come in the mail before I like make any serious decision. But like this would still be really great. I didn't realize I had this blue in stash. I don't know what I bought it for. And then the other color that I really wanted that said it was on sale, but actually wasn't, is, yeah, it's called Carmine. It is like this true red. Absolutely beautiful. And that is going to be for the Princess Diana sweater, the one with the little sheep all over it. I've been wanting to make that for a long time. So technically that is now my dream knit. And I figured, you know what, we should just start it. We really should just start it and get it going. It'll take me a long time because it's fingering weight and it's all over color work and it's bottom up and I think it's in pieces. So I should just start it now. So yeah, that's what I got. I got 3 cones, big cones like this, 500-gram cones of those 3 colors, the Carmine, Sapphire, and Cobalt. All right, so what broke the no buy for 2025? Knit Picks. Since I am a Knit Picks ambassador, which I have a code for 15% off down below if you would like to purchase from Knit Picks, I started being an ambassador back in February. So what I have to do is, I don't know how you sign up. I just got an email one day from them asking if I wanted to be one, and I agreed. And so all I have to do is post on Instagram occasionally. They give me prompts. They give me prompts to do, and each one is worth a certain amount of points, and each point turns into a dollar amount. So after the month is finished, I can submit links to those posts, they review it, and then they send me a discount code for that amount of money. So I got $30 off Knit Picks, and palette was on sale this month, so I purchased this. I purchased enough that it was over $30, so I did end up spending some of my own money on this. So yeah. I didn't do a lot of posting for this month for Knit Picks, so I won't have that big of a discount next month. So I don't know if I'll purchase anything then. But that does kind of hurt me, you know. I need to, if I'm going to be an ambassador for Knit Picks, I need to, I think, play it right. Like when I get my discount, don't go over it. Like I could have just purchased enough to be the $30 worth and then, you know, purchase the rest of it the next time I had it, which would have been fine, but I get FOMO. Anyway, so I purchased this. This is palette yarn, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. This stuff is really nice. It's fingering weight. I purchased Nimbus, which is this really pale gray. And I don't know how to pronounce this one. Seal, maybe? Because it was a really lovely blue. And I thought these would go really great together to make the porcelain sweater by Lay Knit. That is a fingering plus mohair held together type sweater. But again, those summer sweaters that are really lightweight, I think this would make a really lovely summer sweater. So I'm going to see if I can mess around with the gauge a bit and turn that DK weight sweater into a fingering weight sweater. We'll see. I can't guarantee anything, but I thought about maybe starting this in April as well. Yeah, I don't know yet. We will see. we will see. See, I could have made that sweater in Holskarn, but my white, as you can see right here, my white is almost depleted. So I wouldn't have enough white on that cone to do a fingering weight one if I wanted to. So I was like, okay. Anyways, so that's what I got to say about that. My goals for no buying in 2025 have been foiled, but I will, dang it, I will get back on track. So I can't necessarily say that I'm not buying anything. I just need to not buy anything. Okay, so budget, let's go ahead and dive into that then. So since I purchased the yarn in March, I had to count it towards my March numbers. So for March, I've spent $121.85. And that's the same total for the whole year. So, you know, anything less than $500 would probably be really awesome. I also purchased 2 patterns. I did buy the Look at My Holes by James and Watts, and that was $8. And then I bought another pattern called Pogo by Junko Okamoto. It's a really lovely looking sweater, and I hope to possibly knit that at some point. It is an Aran weight gauge though, so I'm not entirely sure what I could do with my stash for that. But it's very lovely. I really like it. And that was $7. So $15 total from March, as long as I don't buy any other patterns. Nope, I take that back. I did buy, what is that new one by Andrea Mowry that just came out? The DRK Everyday Cardigan. I did buy that one. I forgot to put it in there. DRK Everyday Cardigan. And I bought it at the discounted rate. Why is that font's messed up on this one? I bought it at the discount rate, so I think it was like $6 or $7. I'll put 7 for now, but I'll update it if I can find the total. So $22 for March with patterns, and I don't think I'll be buying any more, so we'll delete those rows. So yes, that is what, so total I've spent so far on patterns this year is $120.44. Yeah. I need to, with patterns, I have so many patterns. Anyways, moving on. What else do we have? Okay. Only other thing I purchased this month that I wrote down that I can think of are buttons. I bought these buttons for the Artisan cardigan. These are by Denim and Rain. Sarah, I love her. She's one of my favorite podcasters. She makes beautiful art. So I bought these. I needed 3 buttons for the cardigan. So I thought this was this will look lovely. Well, you know what, actually. So I was thinking about this with the, oops, come here, you. I think it'll still look lovely with what I have right now, but I forgot to mention, I was thinking of over dyeing this when it's finished. I didn't want to dye the yarn prior to knitting it because I didn't want to accidentally dye too much and then be stuck with a skein of, like one skein of a color and I can't mimic it. So I'm going to wait till it's done. But I thought about dyeing it something similar to this. So I don't know if these would still look good on a blue cardigan. I mean, I'm sure they would look lovely, but either way, I got 4 of them. They're very pretty. I forgot what she called these. I don't think these had a name. They just say P3 on the back. Denim and Rain. And then she just wrote P3, so I don't think she named these ones like her other ones. They're very pretty though. So that's all I purchased. Oh, and I could have put that in miscellaneous stuff. Oh no. I think that was $28. I could be wrong, but I think it was $28. Buttons. Okay. let's leave that as that for now. Yarn usage for the month. I only used 3 skeins this month so far, and 3 skeins of already dyed yarn, and I've used 4 skeins of undyed yarn this month, and I brought in 10 skeins of knit picks so far. So my number is, oh, and I pulled 2 out for socks as well. If you watched last month's video, you saw that I was cranking up socks on my knitting machine to resell, well, to sell the socks, and I did 2 more skeins this month. I need to get those finished though. So I did have a difference of 5 skeins. Like from last month, I've a difference of adding 5 skeins. So I went from 285 down to 270, back up to 275. So maybe next month will be a little bit better with the, again, this is all just these yarns here. The undyed yarn, those are being put into a different category. So the undyed yarn, I started with 44 skeins. February went down to 42, and now in March I'm down to 38. So that's a different category. I'm sorry I keep shaking that. This is its own category. It's main, the main yarn. And since none of those undyed are being dyed before being used, they can't be transferred into the main thing. I hope this wasn't too boring. I don't know what else there really is. There wasn't much this month. So that's about it. Again, I don't know what'll happen in April. I guess we'll find out at the end of April what I've done. I have a full month of work in April, so all like 5-day weeks, full. It's a full month, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so if you enjoyed my content, please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, whatever you'd like to do to help me grow this channel. And I will catch you at the end of April. Bye.